Looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine.
Welcome to the Poole Locke YouTube channel. I'm James Locke. Today we're going to answer some of the Ask James questions of the day. This first question is from Garrett. He asks, my wife and I both have pensions. We really don't need a lot of income from our investment, so I'm just not sure if investing for income applies to our situation. Hey, great question, Garrett, and you're probably right. Between Social Security and your pensions, your income needs are covered, but let's not think of it in terms of need. Let's think of it in terms of want. What if you had more income? What if you could use that income to travel more extensively, help family members with their goals, support causes you care about, or just build more flexibility and options into your life? All without touching principal. Income investing isn't just about covering basic expenses. It's about creating opportunities and freedom to do the things that matter most to you without worrying about depleting your nest egg. Think about it this way. Your pensions and Social Security create your floor, your baseline standard of living, but income from your investments can create your ceiling. The difference between a comfortable retirement and an exceptional one. And the beauty of focusing on income is that you're not gambling with your principal to get there. The second thing to consider is known and unknown growth, or income gives you the known growth. If you're earning 5%, you know exactly what you're getting every single year. Capital appreciation is unknown. Unknown growth is capital appreciation. It might go up, it might go down, and the timing is completely unpredictable. You could experience significant volatility right when you least want it. The distinction becomes critical in retirement. When you're working, you have time to recover from market downturns. In retirement, sequence of returns risk becomes real. If you're forced to sell stocks in a down market to generate cash, you lock in losses permanently. But with an income-focused strategy built on bonds, dividend-paying stocks, and other income-producing assets, you're receiving regular cash flow regardless of what the market is doing on any given day. As you get older, most people find that predictability becomes more important than potential. There's real psychological value in knowing your money is working for you in a steady, reliable way. You sleep better at night when you're not constantly checking your account balance and looking or worrying about market corrections. I've seen this shift happen with countless clients. In their 50s and 60s, they're comfortable with growth investing, but once they hit their 70s and 80s, their desire for stability and predictability grows stronger. They want to know their principal is safe and that their income will be there month after month, year after year. That peace of mind has tremendous value and doesn't show up on any balance sheet. And here's something many people overlook. Even if you don't need the income now, reinvesting it can help you grow your wealth safely while maintaining downside protection. You're essentially compounding returns without taking on the full risk of a growth-focused portfolio. So even dividend or interest payment, so that dividend or interest payment that you get, that gets reinvested, buys more income-producing assets, which in turn generates more income. It's a snowball effect that builds wealth steadily and predictably. Plus, building an income stream now means it's there when you might need it later, whether that's for healthcare costs, long-term care, or simply as a buffer against inflation, eroding your pension's purchasing power over time. So your pension might feel adequate today, but what about in 15 or 20 years? An income portfolio can serve as your personal inflation hedge, providing growing cash flow to supplement those fixed pension payments. There's also the portfolio stability factor. Income-focused investments, quality bonds, dividend aristocrats, preferred stocks, and similar vehicles tend to be less volatile than pure growth stocks. Your account value doesn't swing wildly, which means you are less likely to make emotional decisions during market turbulence. You stay the course because you're focused on the income stream, not the daily price movements. And let's talk about legacy planning for a moment. If you don't spend the income, you're building a larger estate for your heirs or favorite charities. But unlike aggressive growth strategies that can suffer major setbacks, an income approach helps ensure that what you're leaving behind has grown safely and sustainably. Your legacy is protected by the same principal preservation that gives you peace of mind during your lifetime. Finally, consider the flexibility an income strategy provides. If your situation changes, if one pension is reduced, if unexpected expenses arise, if you simply want to be more generous with family, that income stream is already established and flowing. You're not forced to sell assets to at potentially unfavorable times. The cash is simply there, ready to be used however you choose. So yes, income investing absolutely applies to your situation. It just serves a different purpose than pure necessity. It's about building a fortress around your retirement lifestyle, ensuring that your golden years are defined by security, predictability, and the freedom to enjoy life without financial stress. That's the real value of investing for income, even when you don't strictly need it. That's a very important question. Thank you so much. If you'd like to send in your question, you can do so. You can email them to poollocke@poollocke.com. Let's get to our second question of the day. And this question comes from Penelope. She says, if I invest for income, will I be taxed at a higher rate? Well, that's a great question, and one I hear all the time. The answer depends on where your money's held and what kind of income you're earning. Right? So tax treatment really varies based on account type and income source. So let's break this down clearly. If your money is in a traditional IRA or 401k, every dollar you withdraw is taxed as ordinary income. Whether it's principal, income, capital gain, it doesn't matter. If you earned that money through dividends, interest, or stock appreciation, the IRS treats it all the same when it comes out. That's the trade-off you made when you got the tax deduction going in. With a Roth IRA, withdrawals are tax-free after age 59 and a half, so it doesn't matter whether you're withdrawing income or gains. This is one of the most powerful features of Roth accounts for retirees. You've already paid the tax, so now everything grows and comes out completely tax-free. This makes Roth IRAs ideal for income investing because you get all the benefits of compounding income without any of the future tax consequences. It's really only in regular taxable brokerage accounts that the type of income makes a difference. And this is where people often get confused. Capital gains are taxed at preferential rates, typically 15 to 20%, depending on your income level, with 0% for those in lower tax brackets. Now, ordinary income, on the other hand, is taxed at your marginal rate, which can be anywhere from 10 to 37% at the federal level. But here's the good news. Qualified dividends from common stock are taxed at the same long-term capital gains rate, not ordinary income rate. So if you're investing in quality dividend-paying stocks, companies like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Microsoft, those dividends get the preferential 15 or 20% rate, just like if you'd sold the stock for a gain. So in many cases, there's little or no tax difference between receiving dividends and selling shares for capital appreciation. Now, there are some types of income that are taxed as ordinary income, even in taxable accounts. Interest from bonds, for instance, is taxed at your full marginal rate. Real estate investment trust dividends are also typically taxed as ordinary income rather than qualified dividends. So if your income strategy relies heavily on bonds or REITs in a taxable account, you will face higher tax rates on that income compared to qualified dividends or capital gains. But here's what's important to understand. Most retirees have most of their assets in IRAs and 401ks anyway, so for most people, this isn't a big concern. Whether you're generating income or selling gains, it's all taxed the same when it comes out of those retirement accounts. The tax question really only becomes significant for wealthier retirees who have substantial assets in taxable brokerage accounts. And even then, the tax difference often isn't as dramatic as people fear. Let's say you're in the 24% tax bracket and you're choosing between qualified dividends taxed at 15% and ordinary interest taxed at 24%. Yes, there's a 9% difference, but you need to weigh that against the other benefits of income investing: predictability, principal preservation, cash flow without selling assets. Plus, there's smart ways to structure your portfolio across different account types to minimize taxes. This is called asset location strategy, where you hold your bonds and REITs, which generate ordinary income, inside your IRA, where the tax treatment doesn't matter. Meanwhile, you keep your dividend-paying stocks in your taxable account, where they benefit from the lower qualified dividend rate. This way, you're optimizing the tax efficiency of your overall portfolio. There's also the question of required minimum distributions, or RMDs, which start at age 73 for most people. Once you hit that age, you're forced to withdraw a certain percentage from your traditional retirement account each year, and that's all taxed as ordinary income, regardless of how you earned it. So if you're going to be taking money out anyway because of RMDs, you might as well structure your investments to generate the income you want rather than being forced to sell positions to meet your distribution requirements. Another consideration: Social Security taxation. Depending on your other income, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be taxable. Investment income, whether from dividends, interest, or capital gains, counts towards the calculation that determines how much of your Social Security is taxed. But you're not being double taxed on the investment income itself. Rather, the presence of investment income can cause more of your Social Security to become taxable. This affects both income investors and growth investors equally, so it's not really a mark against income investing specifically. Here's the bottom line. For most retirees, the tax implications of income investing versus growth investing are either neutral or only slightly less favorable. And that small potential tax difference is often far outweighed by the benefits of predictable cash flow, principal protection, and not having to sell assets in down markets. Don't let the tax tail wag the investment dog. Focus on building a retirement income strategy that gives you security and peace of mind, and then work with your tax advisor to structure it as effectively or efficiently as possible across your various account types. The goal isn't to pay zero taxes. The goal is to have a retirement where you're not worried about money, where you have the income you need when you need it, and where your principal is protected so you can sleep soundly at night. If you accomplish that and pay some taxes along the way, that's a successful retirement plan. Great questions today. As always, if you would like to send in your question, you can do so. You can email them to poollocke@poollocke.com. And if you like what you heard, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. I'm James Locke, your retirement income source. I'll see you next time.
Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine. Retirement is near, don't you live in fear. Listen up, my friend, let me